Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my studio. Or if this is your first time, welcome. My name's Reese. I'm an artist. And so today I was compelled by my studio. There's just this amazing light that floods my small studio room. And sometimes it just pulls me in. So I couldn't resist this particular morning. The light just was crossing over my paintings and all my collection of things and paintings I've done in the past, and even some of my books. All my favorite things, shall we say. And so I attempted to go back and revisit this old drawing that I had done of a thrasher a few years ago. I had initially drawn it using graphite pencil and white charcoal pencil. But over time, it seemed like even though I used a fixative, the white charcoal had become loose and faded and had less of a presence on the drawing. So I decided I was going to use acrylic paint just to try to see how that would affect the drawing, and it felt like it would give it more durability in the long run. So I'm just going to pour out just a little bit of white acrylic paint, and I have a little bit of water, only to basically loosen up or thin the acrylic paint where I want it to be thin. And I have a paper towel for dabbing my brushes to make sure that I don't have too much paint on the brush when I touch the painting. And if you're wondering about the two little dogs, well, they're actually there to hold my brushes when I want to put one down. I just think they're adorable. So I'm just basically rearranging here just to get started. Just wetting my brush, and there's always pieces of my pup Sasha somewhere. So I had to get the hair out of water. And I'm just gonna get started. I apologize if there's any focusing issues. I'm still trying to get used to the process of videotaping and doing my work and learning how to do a voiceover when necessary. So I will tell you that when it comes to some of my subjects like these birds, I'm very drawn to nature. I get a lot of my inspiration from being out in nature, and during the winter time, I spend a lot of time out just wandering and looking at flowers and walking through the fields and just observing and hiking with my pup Sasha. And but now it's starting to get too warm, and it's a little more difficult to get out in Florida. But those things are often something that I draw upon my experiences, and it gives me a purpose behind these moments where I can't get out, but yet I can use my references and my imagination to basically re-experience those things. So these tips of the leaves, I'm not just randomly choosing them really. I'm thinking about where the light might be possibly hitting the leaves. or maybe going through the leaves to create a lighter value. And just using that extra value to create an illusion of the light. But I'm just doing it very sparingly. Most of my emphasis was obviously placed on the bird's chest. If you were painting him more realistically, there would be a lot more variation in the values of the whites, as his chest is actually facing away from the sun and the light is technically coming from behind him through the leaves. However, this particular drawing is an amalgamation of not just one reference photo, it's a mix of many reference photos along with my imagination. For me personally, over my lifetime of being an artist, I've pretty much done both, drawing from my imagination and doing illustrations and more realistic drawings and paintings, and even classical drawings, which are basically more realistic drawings based off of the classical principles taught by the old masters and back in the day of Michelangelo and Raphael and that period. And I'm hoping to explain more of that as we move forward in this video series, but today I'm just focusing on this particular drawing being, again, almost a mixture of many things, everything that I pull from, even old historical drawings, basically like Audubon, if you've ever looked at his prints, and other nature artists back during that time. I love working on toned paper though. I love how the contrast or the tone of the paper is with dark marks like of the graphite, or if you were doing even a pen and ink on toned paper, and then adding that accent of the very light whites, the lightest value. I just love how that looks on a drawing. So I'm hoping that this video will inspire you to try new things, maybe try drawing on toned paper, possibly using acrylic as the white accent like I'm showing here, or you could even try the charcoal pencils, the white charcoal pencils that I initially used. If you're intimidated, I think you'll like the results. At a bare minimum, I hope that this video inspires you to be more creative and maybe even consider getting outside for inspiration for yourself. For me, nature has just always been my go-to for that resource. And so maybe you'll just feel a lot inspired to get outside and breathe some fresh air, see new things, and experience things that will inspire your work and your creative endeavors. If this video does inspire you, I hope that you'll hit like and subscribe. I certainly would appreciate the encouragement to do more videos and offer more content and just share with you my creative journey, my own artistic journey, and share with you some of the things I've learned in the past, all my drawing and painting tips. I have a lot of ideas for what this video series will be or become, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully gaining some insight into other people's processes, any feedback that you might have, your own experiences on being creative. Or maybe you've tried actually painting on tone paper yourself, and I just love to hear from you. So please comment and hit the bell if you want to get alerts for any future videos. I'm going to be trying to make more videos, and I'm going to try to be consistent in offering content, but this is a learning journey for me as well. I just really want to use the channel to have the opportunity to share and to grow a community of people who love creativity, drawing, and art as much as I do. So I hope that you will like what I'm doing and enjoy and just provide me your input and things you'd like to see, or things you'd like to learn, or just what you're interested in creatively. Yeah, so I'm hoping that this is going to be a lot of fun. And some of the videos that I'll be sharing in the future won't just be instructional videos like this. It will also be studio vlogs, adventures with my pup, Sasha. You'll get to meet her. I published her in a couple of early videos, so if you want to go back and take a look at those, you can feel free. She's a German Shepherd. She's a big girl, but she's as sweet as she can be. So at this stage in the drawing, I'm using a very, very light touch with a little bit more water mixed in with my acrylic paint. I just didn't want it to be quite as opaque as I had initially laid down some of the paint, but I just wanted to get a touch of color to that particular leaf. So I'm even going to go in and do more touches to the branches and all the surrounding leaves and even the border. I often like to have parts of my drawings crossing over boundaries, just to create a more of a visualization of something coming from inside, a visual to the outside, like basically a frame without the frame being truly present. I just think it gives it more of a 3D quality. So I think all these leaves sometimes can become tedious when you're doing a large drawing, and it also can be a bit meditative. I did this one drawing of Sasha last year that was much larger, and I had this concept of her tangled up in a bunch of vines on a forest floor with a ton of dead leaves all around her. And as much as I love drawing leaves, it really became quite tedious going through every single one and trying to give it all the values to make all those leaves look realistic. So anyways, that's what this is all about. Challenges. Challenging ourselves and growing artistically, creatively. So here's where I started to add an outside border to this drawing. And this is where sometimes your experiments make you happy and sometimes they don't. And I mean, I think it turned out okay, but I probably in retrospect would have not done this particular step, because I think I actually like the drawing without the border in the end. But sometimes your work is a part of a process to do a more advanced work, and that may be true with this one. I've actually thought about converting this into a painting. I really like the idea of working on round frames. So I was kind of considering this particular drawing as a candidate. So I will take that learning experience and use it when I choose to do that next step. And that's when you modify anything you don't like, or and that's one good thing about paint, is that you can change it, where when it comes to things like pen and ink on paper or watercolors, or even something like this where I've been adding acrylic to paper, it's really kind of hard, actually impossible, to come back from. But we have to take chances, we have to grow and learn, and we have to do that creatively, and we have to do that in our lives. So yeah, we'll see if that happens. Just something to keep on the horizon, possibly. And if that happens, of course, I'll make a video and share it with all of you. So in these last few minutes, as I make the final touches on this drawing, I thought I might just give you a few moments of just listening to the music and watching my process, and I'll be back with you in a few minutes just to have a few closing words. that's pretty much the end of the process on this particular drawing. I hope that you enjoyed watching my steps and my resolutions to enhance or improve this drawing. And again, I hope that you will hit like and subscribe to my channel if you're feeling inspired, or if you feel inspired and you'd like to continue to follow me on this journey. I wish you all well, and I hope you have a lovely day. Thanks for watching.